And welcome back to Studio 6. Today we're going to make a swan. It's a little more challenging than previous builds. Let's start with the materials list. I will be posting the materials list on my Twitter feed as always. Let's get started. We're going to start with 3 1 by 1 wedges of birch white across the front. This is actually the revised swan. I've made some changes since the original. I am not going to do a video on Swan 1.0. Then we'll move to tiny floors. And we'll have 1, 2, and 3 going back on the sides. This goes together rather quickly. 28 pieces. It is a little more difficult than the ducks. And there we have it on both sides. 3 tiny floors back. And a 3 by 4 by 1 wedge will now become the majestic wings of your swan. All right, the neck of the swan is a 1 by 3 by 1. It is longer than the duck neck, but this is a bigger bird. Flip it around. And now grab a tiny floor, slide it up the side. Just like the ducks, we need to get the head put on top of the wedge. If you try to freehand it, most of the time you'll get a gap. So slide it in over the top of the tiny floor. Should be lined up perfectly. And then we'll put that tiny floor back. Okay, there it is. Put a tiny tile on top to elongate the head slightly. And then 1 gold wedge for the beak. And there we go. Now we'll switch to the 1 by 1 by 1 birch wedges and work on the feathers in the back. Put 1 on each side. And move the wedges up to give the wings some definition. Now we'll do the other side. And there we go. We will now grab a 1 by 4 by 1 wedge, turn it around flat, and this will become the body of the swan. Slide it in the gap so it lines up with the bottom wedges. And we'll get this last tiny floor to close off the gap underneath. Slide it back and place. Now we have 4 white tiny tiles left, and we'll use these for some wing definition on the side. Slide it back to the middle. I'm going to match up my green real quick. Again, something that is not required. I just like to do it. And offset the second tile from the first. We'll repeat the process on the other side. And we'll come back and offset that tile. All right. And our last regular wire, like previous builds, will become the eyes. And this is actually the build that the wire eyes look the best on, in my opinion. Plant it, pull it across, look for a gap across the top, and there we go, stick it. And the swan is now complete. Since this is an intermediate build, I will show you that any of these builds that have a wedge for neck can be rotated to make your animal look to either side. We'll rotate it. The head's already perfectly lined. So all you need to do is swing everything over. It's not going to work in this case because the wire is blocking the wedge, so we'll put that down. Move the wire over. Put our beak back up on the correct side. And grab the wire and redo the eyes. And we'll stick it, pull it, look for that nice even gap across the top, plant it, and now your animal is looking to the left in this case. And there we go. Once again, thank you for visiting Studio 6 one more time, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much.